Welcome to MBA Now. I'm Rob Van Raphorst. We're in the middle of August recess here in Washington, but that doesn't mean that we at MBA are still not dealing with a lot of issues pertinent to the real estate finance industry. With us to talk about that is Pete Mills, our Senior Vice President of Residential Policy and Member Services. Pete, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rob.
Pete, from PACE to the Know Before You Owe rule to the new servicing rule, there's a lot of issues that are swirling. Why don't you give the viewers a snapshot of the main ones that we're dealing with here at MBA?
Sure. You know, most folks think of August as a time for congressional recess. Everybody goes on vacation. But in fact, the regulatory sphere has been quite busy. We're dealing with Know Before You Owe. That's a rule that we worked on extensively leading up to the effective date in October. We were aware of some significant problems in the immediate aftermath of the rule and engaged with the Bureau. End result was a rule proposed in early August to deal with a number of significant shortcomings in the rule, provide clarity to our industry to help folks comply. We spent quite a bit of time working with our other trade associations to prioritize a set of issues that were primary obstacles to selling loans in the secondary market. That rule resulted in a fairly broad proposal from the Bureau dealing with all manner of concerns that were really clogging sales into the secondary market. So we will be commenting on that rule. The comment deadline is October 18th, but that's been a major issue for us and a significant win in terms of getting the Bureau to put something out that industry could comment on and really begin to narrow differences in the way people were interpreting the rule.
You know, I think the Know Before You Owe rule that came out of DoddFrank really had the biggest impact to the industry in some time. Can you kind of do a deeper dive on that for us?
Yeah, so the issue that we became aware of in early November really was the inability of lenders to sell loans in the secondary market. There were investors that had different interpretations of the same rule. Lenders were stuck with loans they couldn't sell or stuck with the prospect of buying back a loan for a very minor technical TRID error, whether it was a rounding issue or a phrasing of a fee. All these types of issues were coming back from investors and due diligence firms that had a different interpretation of how the rule worked. And so the work that we did was really focused around trying to identify a prioritized list of issues to create a finite set of issues that the CFPB could tackle and try to wrestle with. Again, the end result was a significant, wide-ranging proposal to address a lot of those issues and really narrow differences in investor interpretation so that lenders have efficient execution in the secondary market. They can sell a loan knowing that it's not coming back as a buyback or not going to be stuck on their line while they clear a bunch of technical errors in the TRID disclosures.
Now, the servicing rule, I believe, is 900 pages in length.
900-page servicing rule.
Quite cumbersome. Why don't you kind of give viewers a quick snapshot about what that is?
Well, this is 2 years in the works since the CFPB issued their initial national servicing standards. There were a lot of concerns around some of the loss mitigation provisions, how to handle borrowers in bankruptcy, successors in interest, and this is really a 2-year process of industry working with the Bureau trying to get some clarity around a number of issues. They addressed a number of them. They also enhanced some consumer protections in a number of areas. So it's not a complete win, but there are some significant improvements. And one of the key things is we now have 18 months for some of the more complicated aspects for lenders to begin to comply. So there is a long lead-in time for lenders to retool their compliance systems in the servicing space.
Great. I mean, you guys do so much work in our policy shop. If you go to our website, MBA.org, you can see, you know, all the myriad of issues that we deal with, and it's just overwhelming, really. So thanks for coming by and sort of giving us a snapshot as to what you're working on and what's been important to the industry.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at MBA Mortgage or check out Mortgage Bankers Association on Facebook and Instagram.